Welcome back. My 2007 Suzuki SX4 with 2-liter engine and 244,000 kilometers suddenly started leaking engine oil. Like these puddles are every single night. I decided not to wait and immediately take a look at what's going on after a few days that it's been leaking like that. I'm gonna take it into the garage and put it on ramps and see where the problem is. After at least half an hour on ramps, I finally found the problem, and I'm pretty sure the oil pressure switch is leaking oil. Now I already took the wiring and the boot from it, so you can see it better. I'm gonna zoom in and show you the location of the oil pressure switch. And if we look closely, it is wet, which makes me think that this is the problem at the leaking oil. So every time the engine is running under pressure, the oil is seeping out slowly. I hope that this video will help someone if they get the same problem as I do. So keep watching. Now I'm gonna take off this air hose, disconnected. Just pulling it, it's really soft. And also I apologize for vandalism, but I had to bend away this heat shield. I didn't wanna remove any nuts. I'm afraid they're all rusted away. And down there, my Suzuki is equipped with block heater. This is the block heater with the connector. I'm gonna disconnect the wire from it. The block heater is used in winter time to heat your coolant from using the electrical outlet. In Canada we use it. Every car in cold provinces use the block heater. Underneath the block heater you have the switch, and this is the boot that covers it. And if we look closely at the boot, there is oil in it, which pretty sure this is the problem of the leaking oil on my Suzuki. The connector is inside, you can't see it here. In the next two screenshots, this is the way it's supposed to look, nice and dry. You can see above where the block heater will go and the pressure switch with the boot down. And you can see it's all nice and dry, no oil leaking on this car. Once you take off the boot and the wire, this is the oil pressure switch underneath the location of the block heater. You can pause the video here. There is more information on how to check oil pressure on Suzuki and also how to reinstall the switch itself. So here is the original oil pressure switch from my Suzuki dealer, made in Japan. That's the part number. I'm not sure if that is a common problem that they leak, but my Suzuki out of 5 in our family is the first one to have this problem. So I guess it's just time and mileage. It's pretty much 10 years old now, so I guess it's time to replace it. Also, you'll need to get a 24mm socket to replace the switch, and you will need a deep socket to make sure it fits on the sensor itself. But there is another problem, that because the socket is so long, it doesn't go over the sensor because of the engine mounting bracket here. So this metal piece, I'm gonna show you, this little piece over here is interfering with the socket itself. So I had two options, either to cut that piece of metal on the bracket or to grind the socket. I decided to grind the socket. I think it was easier. A few minutes later, and this was just enough to make sure that the socket fits over the sensor and clears that notch on the engine mounting bracket. I hope that this information is helpful to you. Let's give it a try. And the socket just goes over the sensor nice and easy, clearing that engine mounting bracket. Now I'm gonna be using a converter from 1/2 inch to 3/8 and a 3/8 ratchet. It's hard to film here, you can't see anything because of my hands, but it was easy, just unscrew it and use in your hand, and here's the old switch in my hands, exactly identical as the new one I bought, and this one is all in oil. Now using this mirror I'm gonna show you the location of the switch on the engine block. Now just to mention, the oil started to leak out, so make sure you put some kind of pan underneath the engine so it doesn't drip on the floor. Using a little bit of Teflon tape, I've decided to wrap around half of the threads on the sensor. I don't know if it's necessary, but I just felt I'm gonna do it. That's the way I did it. Now it's ready to get screwed back onto the engine. Quick wipe before I'm gonna screw it back in. Now I'm gonna use my hands first to screw it in to make sure that the threads are going well, and then I tighten it by hand using the ratchet. A quick clean with the brake cleaner from above and bottom, and this is the result. Nice and clean, shiny new sensor. Hopefully it's not gonna leak anymore. And then I had to clean this rubber boot, and the wire is inside. Sorry I didn't show you on camera here. So the boot is in position and the connector is attached to the sensor. Also there is a heat shield that goes around the rubber boot. There it is. I'm gonna reconnect the block heater wiring, and there is also a heat shield that protects it. I'm gonna put it back into position, and I'm gonna leave for now the exhaust manifold heat shield as it is, because I'm gonna be checking with my mirror the few next days to make sure there is no leaks at all. This is already 1 week later and no more leaking oil, so the problem was in the oil pressure switch. I'm very happy that I found the problem myself. I solved it. I hope that this video will help someone with the same problem. Like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.